and welcome. This is Deepak Mishra and I welcome you all again to this channel. Today we have again Dr. Vikas. He was here after he passed his Fachsprachprüfung. He shared his experiences with us that time and it benefited many candidates. Today I am very happy to invite him again after he has passed his approbation exam and now is a full practicing dentist in Germany. Here in this video, we are going to learn from him about the Kenntnisprüfung, the approbation exam, different patterns for it, the preparation strategies, preparation materials that he used, and his views and ideas about candidates who are going to take the exam in coming future. This is a video which is very useful for the candidates, international dental practitioners who wish to work in Germany in future. Dr. Vikas.
Hi, Pradeep. Thank you.
First of all, many congratulations for the exam. We have been in touch since our last video, and I have been following your progress. And today, I'm very delighted to have you on this channel and share with our viewers your experiences, your challenges, and your motivation that kept you going. So before going into the motivational part out of it and the personal part, let's be very objective and let's talk about the exam. What I want to know from you is that how long did you take? When did you come to Germany? And when was this exam?
So I came to Germany in October 2019 and I started with my paperwork in January or February 2020. So then Fachsprachprüfung I passed it in June after about 6 months. They easily take 3 to 4 months application processing time. That's pretty normal in every state. And then I got the exam date in June. The date I got it in April, that the exam will be in June. Mm-hmm. So that was it. After that began the job search. As the previous viewers who may have seen the Fachsprachprüfung video, they may be knowing it. Viewers who haven't, I would request them to see the video again. That would be informative for them. So then started the job search. I passed my Fachsprachprüfung in Bayern, but then shifted to NRW for job, as the job was there. So once I shifted to NRW, so my goal was to take the exam as soon as possible, because you only have 2 years of time with the Berufserlaubnis. So everyone has a different strategy. Some are of the opinion that they will work whole 2 years and then they will take the exam. But I would suggest the better strategy would be to take the exam as you are working, because you are in a rhythm and you are doing it on a daily basis. Yeah, it may be more work, but it's advisable to do that. And we as working people who come from India or from any other country and we want to establish ourselves here, we have come only for this purpose. Our stay is completely related to our work. So there is no such possibility for us here to just stay here, not work, and just keep residing here. Financial, personal, many kinds of issues will come. So we are not here just like on a unending, does one say, president's permit, right? So we have limited time. So I would like to ask you to get it in as soon as possible.
Totally agree to it. Even though you get a 21-month, you get an unlimited residence permit at the beginning. They call it unbefristet Aufenthaltstitel. That is the unlimited residence permit. However, that is after 21 months, you have to renew it. That means time, if you don't have approbation, you don't have a proper job assurance that you're going to work, a clinic or an employer is not assuring that, you might have problems when it comes to extending that after 21 months your stay. So that is why it is important that be done with the Kenntnisprüfung as soon as possible. Medical doctors, MBBS doctors who come here, they are under pressure because they have to do it. Otherwise, their work is not counted as as a Weiterbildung. They have to, they are just non-academic trainees without the approbation. But in case of dentist, it is little different. Even though, I mean, there is pressure to do it fast, but since they're working and maybe earning money, it's sometimes they say that, okay, I'll take my own sweet time and then do it all like slowly and steadily. So different
Yeah,
mindsets,
that's
but
usually,
Mhm.
yeah, true. Sorry, that's true. But this is especially seen with candidates who do not have any issue with the residence permit and no issues with finances. Usually, like they are people who are already living in Germany since quite long, and for them, this stay permit does not have pose any problems, right? So they are free from that
Yes.
issue. So that is the case. But people who come to Germany only for this purpose, in those cases, it would not be a suggested thing to do. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
in my
understand
case,
that in
about,
your case,
yeah.
in your just to clarify to the viewers, what you intend to say is that about the people who come on spouse visa or family reunion visa. That is, that could be one
Yeah, yeah.
example where one spouse is already working, is living in Germany, has a residence permit, has a salary. So other spouse who comes does not have to worry about the salary, about the visa
Exactly. Yeah,
extension.
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the clarification. Exactly. So that is what I meant. People who are here on spouse visa, who do not have to worry about. Okay, even if they don't have a workplace, they already have the residence permit. So in those cases, they don't have to worry about it. They can work for full 2 years and then take the exam. But if you have come here, for example, on a deficit Bescheid, okay, and or for a language visa or things like that, where you have to continuously show the immigration authorities that you are your reason of stay, why you are staying in Germany, why should you stay in Germany. So then you need to be on your toes and keep showing them why are you here and what's the progress that you are doing. So then it's additional pressure. It may be a motivating factor if you turn it into a motivation, but then yeah, it's that's how it is.
All right. So, yeah, I understand. That's very interesting that different people take things in different perspective and things change for different people. Let's be objective towards the exam. Tell us more about how is this exam? What is the exam pattern? And yeah, please tell us how is the exam pattern? How is this exam?
Yeah, so just one point about the exam. So basically, the thing about the exam is, and I think pretty much it is the same in all the states. You have to specifically do a Anmeldung for the exam. Like it's not taken for granted that you passed your FSP and you are in line for the exam. For example, in NRW, it is like this. Even if you have started working, you have to put one separate application. Separate application, I mean, other than the approbation antrag which you have already put, you have to put one separate application for the Kenntnisprüfung that yes, okay, I am ready to take this exam. And then you put one date. There is a space where they say that you don't want to take the exam before this date. You can write the date there, but below that it is also written it is not promised. You can get a date before that, you can get it after that, but then there is this separate form. So people who may not be knowing it and maybe waiting, okay, probably I'm in the wait list for the exam. It's not like that. You have to get yourself registered for the exam. There is a separate form for that. It's available online most of the places, or you should get in touch with your Ansprechpartner. So that is the first thing which I would like to attend. Then the Kenntnisprüfung for dentists is basically divided into three parts. Earlier, the whole exam used to be conducted in one single day, used to run from morning to evening. Was very hectic. Then there are pros and cons to both the patterns. Now the exam is divided into three parts and is done on 3 separate days. Depends on state to state. Some states conduct the first part, which is the written part, and the second part, which is the viva part, just after one another. For example, Bayern. In Bayern, for example, if today is the written part and candidates who have passed, tomorrow is the viva. So it depends from state to state. For example, in NRW or in most of the states, you first clear the written part, then after a month or two, you get date for the mündliche, the viva part, and after maybe a month, you on an average, you can keep a time interval of 1 to 2 months. It can even be lesser than that. We'll get to that later. But on an average, you can take 1 month, 1 to 2 months in between every part. So you take the exams like this.
That means one exam runs over 3 months, you want to say?
It doesn't run for that is when that is when everything gets you pass everything in the first attempt. Then it runs to at least then is at least 3 months. That is at least 3 months for that. Exactly.
Oh, it's a long time, right? 3 months for
it's
one
a long
exam.
time. Yes, definitely. It's a long time. Yeah.
Okay, and if you don't pass a particular, for example, one has a first tile, the schriftliche tile or the mündliche tile, you don't pass it, and then you have to repeat that. You cannot go to the next step, or can you go to the next step?
No, you cannot go to the next step. Only if you pass the first part, you go to the next step. So every part which you have passed, you do not have to repeat it. For example, if you pass the first part, the schriftliche part, and you go to the mündliche part, and you could not pass it because of any reason. So then next time you will only take the mündliche part. You don't have to take the schriftliche part again. So this is something which is a good change. The new changes have come from last year in practice. It was not there before. Every state used to have their own set of rules. But right now, this is standardized all over Germany, this pattern. Like there are 3 parts of the exam. Every part can be taken total 3 times. That is, repeat 2 times and the first part.
Okay. And unfortunately, if people who are not able to pass any one tile for any one part for 3 times, what happens to those people?
So this is a question for which there is no absolute answer, I would say. In theory, as it is, then unfortunately it's the end of the application in Germany. This is what I know. I cannot go into the legal intricacies of that, but I also hear at the same time of people changing to a different state and then maybe putting a fresh application with the help of a lawyer or things like that. That could be done. But then there are other options. Neighboring countries of Germany, which are also German speaking, for example, Austria or Switzerland, one could also apply in these countries. I cannot put.
But can people work in non-clinical branches, non-clinical, like for example doing MSc or getting into research or pharma or those kind of things? Because even though a person has not passed a licensing exam, cannot practice as a dentist. But I mean, that is also my view. For doctors, for MBBS doctors, that people who cannot pass a probation exam, they still have the option of getting into industry. That means they can, because they are science graduates, they have that graduation and everything. So they can work as a non-doctor, non-dentist, but in different. I mean, in Germany, they can. It's not like they have to go back, because that is what many people are scared of. Many people are scared of that. I will leave everything and I'll go to Germany, spend all this money, so much time, and at the end, if things don't work out, then what will happen? So there, I always say that you will not be practicing your profession. That is, sad. But it's not like that will be the end of the entire career.
Yeah, true. So here I will again reiterate my point. What I said, that it is important that you practice in Germany, that you have worked in Germany, and not just that you have just taken exams one after others. Once you have work experience here, then God forbid, even if you don't pass, at least you have something to show. There are many parts of clinical branches where you are related with the clinical field. You are personally not yourself doing it, but you are related to it. For example, I'll just quote one example. I know a dentist from an Arabic country, and he is he has very good experience with implants. He has been doing implants in his home country, but till now he does not have the approbation. He's on the way, but he is associated with a very well-known implant company in Germany, and he is basically working in marketing and doing really good. He doesn't have financially absolutely no issues. But yes, clinically he cannot work, but he's at least associated with his field and what he has done and bringing that knowledge to the company. So this is just one example. There must be others too, right? So yeah,
no, that's a good point, because that worry, many people have this worry that what will happen to us. In that way, they are in Germany, they're working for German companies or like international companies living in Germany. So that way, part that living in a developed country with family and everything, that is then sorted out. It's a different story that you're not practicing your own profession. So, all right. So about these patterns that you discussed, can you tell us how, these different patterns, what kind of questions or how does it happen? Like the first part was the mündliche exam, right? Or the schriftliche is the first part.
So as the schriftliche exam has a different pattern in different states, as I hear from colleagues and from different states. But usually, for example, in NRW or in most of the states, it's in the form of a case presentation. Like they will give you all the data regarding a patient with respect to clinical history, clinical examination, and then as a radiographic examination, there will be a OPG as a orthopantomogram that you have intraoral findings, extraoral findings. So everything you will get. And then you will be asked in NRW, for example, specific questions to this pertaining to this case. Like how will you treat this patient? Basically, it revolves around what are the findings that you saw, what is your diagnosis, and then how will you treat this case, step by step, very specifically, like what will you do in this step, what will you do in the next step. In Münster, where I took the exam, they even ask you the waiting time between appointments. Okay, what will you do in the first appointment? Then how much will you wait till the next appointment? What will you do in the next appointment? Then third appointment, and the waiting time in between. So it was like that. So it's very important to be familiar with the pattern of exam, what is there in your particular area or your Zahnärztekammer. So that is very important. And the main problem is what people face is not lack of knowledge, rather lack of time. So you have to manage everything, right, to write everything in 45 minutes. And that is the main key area where one has to work upon. The first part doesn't test your knowledge so much per se. The first part is so much about the writing pattern and how you write the answer. Someone who
do you have to write with paper and pen, or is it computerized?
No. This exam has to be taken in paper and pen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how much time duration are we talking about?
Is 45 minutes. Is 45 minutes.
That means you have taken the case, like say 15 minutes or so, and after that.
No. There would not be any patient. All the data is in the question paper. Okay. Everything is in the question paper. There is no patient per se. You don't have to take any history. All the data is given in the question paper, and right from the word go, you start reading it. You take all the data and you come to you write the findings, whatever you see. The radiographic findings, clinical findings are given. You have to write the radiographic findings. Then you have to reach the diagnosis. In some cases, you even have to tell the prognosis. What is the prognosis? And then step-by-step treatment plan.
All right.
You also have to draw, for example, when there is a prosthetic plan of the area of rehabilitation, prosthetic rehabilitation, then you have to make diagrams also.
Sounds difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult to manage the time, basically. Like you may be knowing things and people know things, but it's difficult to how you manage the time is the key area rather than the knowledge here. Your knowledge will be anyways tested in the mündliche part. So if you have crunch of time, I would say focus on the exam pattern rather than, yes, obviously you must be reading. That's well known now. Yeah, but this part you need to prepare in a particular manner.
And so, so one has taken this exam, has passed this exam. Do you get the report? You don't get the report same day, right? You get it later on. you said?
Yeah, it can be from 15 days to 30 days, anywhere in between.
So
The
when you get
result
that
comes.
report, then after that you do Anmeldung for the next, or you get automatically the
No,
terminate appointment.
if you keep passing, you are automatically ungemelded for the next part.
So how do you
But
get the
if you,
appointment for the next one? What I
yeah,
want to
so
know is the time gap between the exam 1 and exam 2.
yeah, so as I said, average you can take about a month, but it can be pretty much less also. For
Mm-hmm.
example, in my case, the exam, the Shiftlesha part was in February. It was probably 9th February, and the result came on the 13th or 14th February, and the result came on about 18th March.
Okay. So
Result came
more
about
than
one
a
month
month.
later. Yeah,
Okay.
about 1 month later, the result came, and on 18th March we came to know that the exam is on the Mündliche part. The next is on 25th March.
Okay, so within a week. So that could be one
So
has to be prepared. That means one cannot
that was
wait.
very short, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah.
So
So
point where
even
I'm
when
coming
we
to was that,
knew,
yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
yeah, so even when we were told that the exam will be roughly in the end of March, but the like this, it's human. It's the problem is, as long as you don't know the result, whether you are passing or not, you cannot concentrate properly to study. So so that was like that.
Okay. And what happens in the practitioner style, the last part? What do you have to do?
Yeah, so in the practical part, the you have to do a few exercises. So the exercises are pretty much the same in almost all the states. So you get roughly 5 hours of time, and in that time, for example, you have to they may come some technical terms which may be a little different for you, Dr. Deepak. So you may get for example, MOD cavity on some molar tooth, and to restore it, then you may get one cavity in the front teeth region, and you have to restore it. There would be 2 crown preparations. Any tooth in the mouth, can be in the front or the back of the mouth, anywhere. You have to do endodontic treatment or root canal treatment on a tooth, and also restore it. And this all of what I'm telling you is common in almost every state. But in Münster, you also have to do this scaling and curettage, what you do with hand instruments. Yeah, so you have to take impressions, and you also have to restore the prepared teeth with a provisional crown. So this you all
So
have to do in 5 hours.
all these things that you mentioned. For example, someone who has done dentistry in India has just graduated from dentistry, right?
Yeah.
Intern, post-intern, that phase, not like 5 years experience, just directly
Mm-hmm.
passed out. What can they do these things? Are they in the position to do these things?
I would say practically no. Not having. They may have done things here and there, but to all that in an orchestrated manner, in an organized manner, I don't think so. See, the private colleges in India, most of them do not give very good exposures to their graduates. Unfortunately, it is so. The government colleges, yes, but then the quality of work then suffers. The patient load is so much, you cannot be expected to do everything ideally. And in an exam, you have to do everything ideally, basically. Like, it's not like in the patient's mouth that only where there is a decay in the tooth, you will only prepare a cavity there. It's not like that. In the exam, you have to do it ideally, how it is done ideally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you have to do it. So the preparation is quite different. You may have done the most of the things. Definitely, if you have worked, it would definitely help you, no doubt about that. If you have done many fillings, if you have done root canals, obviously you would carry a confidence with you, no doubt about that. If you have done crown cuttings, all that, it's good, it helps definitely. But you need good amount of preparation for this, and timely preparation in an organized manner.
Yeah, that is what I was coming at. That since you said that fresh graduates from, say, dental college in India are not up to the, might not. I mean, some people, there is always exceptions. I mean,
Yeah,
in general, in your
Mm.
view, with your experience, you don't think that people are up to the mark. What is expected in this exam over here? So
Yeah.
we will need. So in that way, can we say that the practitioner style, the practical exam, is the most difficult part of the exam, or is it not so?
Yeah, so I would say the practical and the written. I would take both of them as difficult. When I hadn't taken the practical exam, I always felt the written was the most difficult because somehow it is the first exam, and if you don't clear that, you don't go to the next step. So in that way, I would say the written part is difficult, and there is a very much the time is very tight. That way, I felt the difficulty was there. Practical part is difficult in sense of this, that you need actually lots of practice, and with lots of practice you kind of know that you will be able to do it. Yeah, but in written part, it's like it's not clear that okay, what you have done, is it good enough or not? You don't know that actually. So that's the challenge in the written part.
All right. So yeah. So now, how I understand now what do you mean? Like it's like that the things which you can practice and be sure of it, then that can be actually predictable. It is difficult, exactly, but it's predictable. If you practice well, then you will be fine. There's no luck factor as such over there. But in written part, it's like unsure. Even though you're good at it, even though you know it, then you don't know what.
True. You're not sure what the examiner wants to see in your paper. Basically, I will just come to it. I happen to see the marking pattern of the Schriftlicher tile in Düsseldorf. We somehow came across that there was a paper and it was marked from an examiner, and they have very clearly written points. If the candidate has written this point, they get 2 marks for this. If they have written this point, they will get this marks, 2 marks for this. So it is very point to point. So you don't know exactly what they are expecting. Like they would be expecting the right things in most of the cases. That's understandable, right? But then there's always this margin where you can you are maybe a little away from that. So that makes the Schriftlicher tile more difficult because it's difficult to gauge exactly what is right.
All right. So fine, Dr. Vikas. Here, let us go a little bit back in your past, and to the viewers, it will be useful that since we're talking about what is expected here and your experience, it's also important that candidates know that, or the viewers know that what is your background, like what have you done so far, like what your background in India, I mean.
So I did my BTS in 2012, and then I passed the All India Postgraduate Dental Exam entrance examination the same year, and then entered PG in 2013. I did not take any drop year, and then completed my PG in 2016. And after I did my PG in oral surgery, oral and maxillofacial surgery in India. Then if you do the post graduation from Maharashtra, from a government institute, you have to serve a 1-year mandatory bond with the Maharashtra government. So I completed my 1-year bond in GDC Aurangabad as an assistant professor. Then I came to Delhi, and I worked for about 1.5 to 2 years in Globe Dental. It's right now India's biggest dental chain. Also in one of the biggest in Asia, the dental chain. So I worked about there. That was a good learning experience. And while I was working there, I had started simultaneously planning about Germany. And I had started with my German classes while I was working. So that was running parallelly. So when I passed my German exams, B2 exams, and then I started applying all over Germany for hospitations. I finally got one in Universitätsklinikum Würzburg in Bayern. And then with help of that, I came on a hospitation visa to Bayern.
Okay. Yeah, so it's very important that one knows, like when someone is taking getting advice from someone, it's important that they know the background of that person, right? From whom they are. And since now I know that like you already completed BDS in 12, and like it's been almost 10 years you are a graduate, graduate, and then postgraduate, and then assistant professor. So you are talking from lots of experience in the field of dentistry. So candidates who are watching this definitely should take his words very seriously and for the exam preparation. So now give us a brief overview, because we have to conclude this session next few minutes. Please give us some preparatory material, like how would you suggest someone who is going to prepare for the exam? what materials can you say? All the links that you give us, we will post it in the description so the candidates can go and check them out themselves. But please tell us some things, how they can prepare.
Yeah, so there are a few very well-known books for this preparation. But as I said, books would be helpful, but the examination pattern, be very thorough with that. Try to get as much information as possible from people who have taken already exams in your state where you want to take the exam. Find out information from Facebook groups or all possible sources, WhatsApp groups. There are n number of WhatsApp groups, Skype groups. So yeah, it may be difficult at the beginning, but yeah, you will get to it. So take out the info. The books are very well known. I can name them, and you will also find the description in the links in these videos. So basically, it is Curriculum Prosthetic. There are basically 3 volumes of that. So that is it's taken as one of the Bible of prosthetics, dental prosthetics here. Like very, there are other books too, but that is what I read. So I can advise you can go through it. Then there is a book called as Memorix. It's a very useful book. It has lots of information and it is all given in a concise manner. So very good for revision. And when you are having crunch of time, very handy. And then there are a series of books with the name of Einführung. So Einführung in Zahnerhaltung. Zahnerhaltung here in Germany includes periodontology and conservative dentistry and endodontics. So that all gets covered under this book. And then Einführung in Dental Chirurgie, that is the oral surgery, the surgical part that would be taken care of. And then there is Einführung in Kiefer Orthopädie, that is your dentofacial orthodontics.
Dr. Vikas, if I give if you put so much information in the description section, that will get overflowed. What I think is better would be that I will put a form in the description section where the candidates who wish to know the entire plan can send us their emails, and they can just register on the form, and then we can sit together and prepare a PDF or something like that where everything is mentioned, and then we can send that to the candidates who enrolled through the form which is in the description section of this video. Right. Don't write me on Facebook and Instagram asking for the thing. You have to you have to go on the form on this video and check this out.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Dr. Vikas, anything that you would like to share with other candidates who are going to take the exam? We have 4 minutes left. If you can if you have some ideas, thoughts, things that you now know after going through the entire grill of the exam, which you think that, okay, if I knew this before, I could have prepared myself or behaved in a different way. Is there something like that?
I would just like to say familiarity with the exam pattern is the first and foremost thing. And that would play the most crucial role in the Schriftliche part. So I took the Schriftliche part twice. The first time I was not familiar with the pattern, and I knew the pattern, but I actually had not prepared so well according to that pattern because of various reasons. Time crunch. I was searching a job, starting with a job, searching apartments and everything. So everything was going parallelly. So that is very important. So as I said, even if you are familiar with that, even if you are not very regular with your studying, you can still pass the Schriftliche exam. Doesn't mean for the Schriftliche exam you have to be total ready. It is not like that. So that is something what I would like to say. Trust yourself. You would always doubt yourself till the time you pass the exam. Till the time one doesn't pass, you always think, if I'm going on the right path. So be involved with people, keep discussing things with people. That would definitely help and let you know where you are, where you stand, and where others are. The good thing about the exams here are we always have a thought about the competition. The exams here for approbation, yes, every exam is a competition, but this is not a direct competition. It's not like that. They have what I mean to say is, for example, in India, we are habituated to take exams like there are 5 seats. And according to 5 seats, people will be selected. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. It's not like that here. So all the people who score above a certain limit would pass. So there's just pass and fail. So that is something which is very important. Keep that in mind and keep working on that. So
All right, very well said, Dr. Vikas. So I hope this video will be useful for the candidates. Do like this video, share it with your dentist friends and colleagues who are on this pathway. If you have more questions, you can write them in the comment section, and Dr. Vikas will take a look at them. Please don't ask for phone numbers to share phone numbers, because on last video which we did, there was a huge request for phone numbers. That is not very good idea. I hope people will like this video and share it with their friends and colleagues and subscribe to this channel. All right.
I can only say it's very, very important to keep following Dr. Deepak, because I can only say I have been seeing his videos right from the start, even before I started on this journey. That was probably 2018, 4-5 years ago. And from there to here, so I have been keeping following him. So yeah, they are definitely useful.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Dr. Vikas. So we'll conclude here then.
Yeah, okay.